Chess friends, I hope you are doing well. Today I have a very amazing and literally incredible chess game that I will present to you. We have Mikhail Tal and his opponent Milko Bobotsov, where Mikhail Tal sacrifices his piece in the opening of the game, which is just amazing and miraculous. I am absolutely sure you will enjoy the game very much, so, stay tuned. Sit down on your chair or wherever you are, no matter if you are in your restaurant or toilet room, just sit down, watch, and enjoy this video. White starts the game with d4, Mikhail Tal here played knight f6, and after c4 happened in the game, Tal was not interested in playing e6 or d5, deploying the Nmco Indian. He is likely to consider g6 and bishop to g7, deploying the king's Indian defense. He wants to push forward the pawns or play d6 e5 and all kinds of moves that are in the theory of the king's Indian defense. Alright, we have e4 on the board, and his opponent is trying to dominate the center with the major pawn armies. He can play f3, bring out the bishops, bring out the queen, and play a long castle. Alright, we have d6 on the board because after f3 happened on the board, it becomes quite evident that he is trying to stabilize his structure. He will be able to consider g4 h4, pushing forward the pawns, attacking on the king's side, and playing a long castle to create pressure on Mikhail Tal's king's side. But Mikhail Tal is a very champion and genius player. He is not afraid of such moves. Right, he played d6 and c5 on the board, directly pressuring the center. The bishop goes here, and after knight to d7 happened, we have a6, long castling, and here you can see that his opponent's next step would be to consider g4, h4, attacking on the king's side and all the boring stuff. This is the boring stuff that his opponent will be considering. Mikhail Tal, noticing that he has the open diagonal for the bishop, the rook can go to the b8 square to get access to this file, going to a5 can arrive. Attacking this, and Mikhail Tal can dominate and swing his knights to the center of the board to create dominance. Mikhail Tal's eye is very sharp, and he can see all the possibilities that his opponent cannot even dream of. He played a5, putting pressure on the pawn where b5 can arrive. The king goes there, and we have b5, putting pressure on the knight, putting pressure on the pawn. Capturing the pawn is not possible because after it is captured, the file will be wide open, and b4 can arrive. The knight will be kicked out, and you will be dominated by my pawns. You know what? Who are you? You are the shoes of Mikhail Tal. It's a joke. I'm saying this to the white opponent. The knight goes to the d5 square, attacking the queen, and here is a question mark for you. Would you like to exchange the queens or just move it back? Try to think a little bit and think like Mikhail Tal. What did Mikhail Tal play here in this position? Mikhail Tal played, with his bold eyes, knight takes d5, sacrificing the knight right on the board. Have you ever observed these moves in your games or any grandmaster games? This queen's sacrifice is literally on the board. His opponent accepts the sacrifice because why not? After knight takes e3, attacking the rook goes there, and we have knight takes c4 on the board. If the queen goes back to her home square, Mikhail Tal will happily capture the pawn. The diagonal is wide open, the knight is there, and everything will be fine and good, right? But in our actual game, Mikhail Tal's opponent is not less skilled than him. He is also a powerful opponent, but not the Su of Tal. He said, if you can sacrifice your queen, why not I? Let me sacrifice my rook on the c4 square, reducing your attacks, but the problem for white is that the b file gets wide open, right? After the knight goes back to the c1 square, I don't know why he played such a bad move. The knight has no future there, as long as you have to capture the pawn on the c4 square. The rook goes there. After some moves like that, we have bishop takes d4 on the board, right? Attacking the pawn, Tal is creating a lot of pressure on white's position where knight to e2 can be possible to attack the bishop, which is the best move that white should consider in this position, but white played a very bad move. I don't know why, that just cut his hair or saved his hair and played queen to d2. Which is just a mistake because now Tal gets the opportunity to move back the bishop and fight with the c4 pawn. Now here, Tal played a very bold move. Can you guess what Tal played in this position? Try to pause the video here and figure out the move that Tal played. The move is just an understanding move, not a sacrificing move. The move that Tal played is pawn to c3, attacking the pawn. This is an understanding move that shows that not every time Tal will sacrifice pieces. He is not here for your enjoyment. He needs to attack, combine his pieces, and weaken his opponent's position. If white dares to capture the pawn with his knight, then congratulations. I will play knight to c4, attacking these pieces. The queen cannot go there because there is knight takes b2, therefore, after the queen goes to the e2 square, hoping that the queen will be protected. The worst case scenario is that the pawn will be captured, bishop to h6 check will arrive, and then the final punch will come with knight to e3 check. After the king moves, rook takes c2 will arrive, and the queen will be suffocated there. The position will just be over for you. You know what? You will be just disrupted and disqualified by Tal's attack because his intelligence, his brain neurons, are like a thunderbolt, and your brain neurons are like mosquitoes living there, and some spiders have spoiled your brain neurons with their webs, lol. So, let me share a motivational quote in sudden with you. One of the most courageous decisions you'll ever make is to finally let go of what is hurting your heart and soul. Going back to the reason, we discovered that capturing the knight, capturing the pawn, will be a very bad choice. That's why we have queen to d3 on the board. After the knight is captured and goes there, here is a question mark for you. His opponent is trying to block the bishop's diagonal, and Tal plays bishop to d7. A few moves later, you can see how Tal is approaching his attack with the knight on a4. The rook's file is wide open there. The bishop's diagonal is wide open also. After white captures the knight on a4 and all the exchanges apart, we have bishop takes a4 on the board. Do you know what Tal played in this position? The move that Tal played is very amazing. The move is rook to c3 attacking these pieces. After the exchanges apart, you can see how Tal is approaching his attack. The position is just bad for his opponent because the pawn is well protected by the bishop. After capture, Tal is not interested in the pawn on b3 because he can be checked by the queen. He is likely to checkmate white with his pieces. After queen to a3, rook check capture king there, pawn promotion to a bishop. This leads to a checkmate with 0 checks that Tal faced. Tal checkmated black and exposed and checkmated his opponent with just bishops, which is just amazing. So I hope you enjoyed the game very much. If so, then don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Wishing you all the best. Bye bye, take care and see you soon.